So I know in a few of our videos you talked about low point, and we thought it'd be a good idea to talk about it in more detail.
Yeah.
Driver and a wedge, hit a couple of balls, and you can discuss the difference and where you should be low point wise.
You know, we all know that you love Maverick. You call yourself
It's out
that,
already, look.
So yeah,
It's always with me. It joins me at the hip.
you're gonna hit the drivers because
Yeah.
that's what you like to do, and then I'll hit some wedges, and we'll talk about low point.
Okay, awesome. Driver's out then, so what are we expecting the low point to be?
I want you to hit a driver and see. Just hit one.
On the up?
Well, the way you normally do.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is poetry in motion.
So we'll see here you've got low point and it's measured in inches. Okay. And on this occasion, his shot was 4.4 inches B. What does B stand
Behind.
for? Behind.
Okay, so that means that the club face is travelling on the up, so it's reached its arc, the bottom of the arc, 4 inches before the ball.
Yeah. Now, if you think of it this way, you see the yellow graphic here? If you think of that as the bottom of your arc, and you see this line here, that's the low point. So obviously there's a point in any arc where it stops going down and then starts going up.
Okay.
That's the low point there.
Yep.
Okay. So for a driver, you want that low point to be behind the golf ball with the driver. So that means you're hitting it on the way up after the low point.
Is there a particular low point you want to be at? Or is that impossible to say?
I think we focus more on attack angle, probably, whenever that comes to that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we'll have a look and see what that is.
Out of interest here, if you get the attack angle up, we can see if there's a correlation between the two.
So on that particular shot, he was 3.6 up.
Interesting.
And 4.4 inches back or behind.
So if the low point is behind, you'll generally have an attack angle that's up.
Correct.
Okay. So they're interlinked essentially.
Yeah. Now that's the bearing on driver. So to have an upward attack angle, you need a low point which is back behind the ball.
Okay. Now wedge time, would that be any different? I guess it would be.
Okay. So I've got a 9-iron, and we're going to talk about the differences you might see between this 9-iron and the driver you hit in relation to low point.
Okay, so it's got an A now instead of a B.
A, so it's instead of being behind, it's now ahead.
Okay.
It's 2.8 inches ahead, and we are 3.6 down.
So you can see the graphic.
Here's the golf ball.
Yeah.
Here's my low point. It's now this side. Instead of behind, it's now in front or ahead. And we can see that as a result, that club is then hitting it on the way down on that part of the arc.
Okay.
Instead of on this part of the arc on the way through. So, yes, low point is important with regards to driving, knowing what that should be. We should be behind and not ahead.
Yeah.
Our iron shots, which you just looked at there now, we want that low point to be ahead of the golf ball so that helps you hit down. Where it is also very important is wedge shots.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people, I don't know what your bad shot is with a wedge, but...
We all know what my bad shot is with a wedge.
That's the hosel, but yeah. But when it comes to a lot of people, I guess it's fat and thin shots.
Yeah, definitely.
So typically they move around a lot, and what I mean by that is whenever they make a backswing, their sternum area moves an awful lot, which means that the low point is also shifting. Yeah. And you want to make that low point as stationary as possible. Yeah. You want to keep it in the same place for as long as possible. So when it comes to pitching, if you think of the sternum or the zip on your jacket, you want that to be slightly left. If you're a right-handed golfer, you want it to be slightly left of the ball. And then as you swing, you want to keep that low point or that sternum area to the left of the golf ball throughout. So you don't want to shift it. Okay. Now, if I can maintain that low point left of the ball, you should strike that ball first. Okay. Now, this sort of proves the point, I guess. Where would you play the golf ball in your stance with a wedge?
I would have it. I'm different to most people, but I'd have it more towards the middle of my stance.
Right, okay. If I was to do that,
Yep.
you can see that it's now nearly in line with my left foot.
Yep.
What I'm
Driver
gonna-
stance, basically.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my low point, which is this sternum area, in line with the golf ball or just ahead. And the strike was very similar to the first one.
Yep.
So as long as that low point is in the correct area, you will contact that golf ball, well each time.
A little nugget of info. I enjoyed that one, mate.
So that's low point. So low point with driver should be back or behind.
Behind.
Low point with iron shots, wedges, should be ahead.
Yeah. And that would be for pretty much every club in the bag, even a 3-wood,
Slightly ahead.
slightly ahead, unless you're off a tee and you want to sweep it.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of guys, and I know I'm digressing a bit, but when you have a wood in your hands, a 3-wood or 5-wood, you kind of subconsciously think, I need to sweep this off the ground. That's not the case off the deck. You need to have that low point ahead of the ball.
And the reason why I use low point a lot in golf lessons, and it sort of helps the person understand it a bit more, is that if you relate it to this part, it's relatable. So
I like that. That's good.
You can stand there and go, well, there it is there.
Yep.
And what you're looking to do is, and most people don't do this with iron shots, they don't move that weight, that sternum area ahead of the golf ball.
Yeah.
They tend to try to help it in the air, which is opposite of what you should be doing.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much. Cheers for that.